Hamburg recruitment chief Johannes Spurs insists Rangers defender David Bates is no money grabber. Sources close to the 21-year-old dispute reports he demanded £7,500 a week to sign a new deal at Ibrox. Chasing two central defenders this summer, Rangers are understood to have offered him a rise of just £250 a week to stay put. And, after securing Bates under freedom of contract on a 4-year agreement, Spurs claims the player turned down bigger offers from England to try his luck in Germany. He told Sportsmill, "In the situation Hamburg is in, we are always interested in getting good deals done. It's not a big risk for us financially. I know that David had a chance to earn far more money somewhere else. I know that for a fact. But this is a good chance for him to come to Hamburg and a new country, and he has shown me he can handle the situation we have in Hamburg every week. It's a low-risk signing for us." Former Red Bull Leipzig chief scout Spurs quit for struggling Hamburg in February, despite the looming threat of relegation to Bundesliga 2. And Bates came into his plans after marking Celtic's Moussa Dembele out of December's scoreless Old Firm draw at Parkhead. "I was in Glasgow for the game and saw him play against Dembele," added Spurs. "He was very impressive. I have known about Dembele for a long time, since he played in the English Championship, and he was one I looked at for RB Leipzig when he was going out of contract. He's a top player. I must be honest, I didn't expect to see David play that day. I didn't come to see him. But it was impressive to see how he performed, with that crowd, that atmosphere. He was very stable and produced a very good performance. Everybody could see from that day on that he was a relevant player for the first team, maybe for the first time in his career. This is the profile of player I need at Hamburg. I need players who have had to fight for their career, who know they are maybe not the most technically gifted players in the world, but know that with a good, hard-working and fighting mentality they can make a chance for themselves at a higher level. 8 points adrift of safety with 4 Bundesliga games to play, HSV could be relegated to Bundesliga 2 for the first time in their history if results go against them this weekend. Tackling suggestions a move to Germany's second division would be a step down from Rangers, Spurs countered. "The level of Bundesliga 2 is a good level. For me it's the best second division I can see anywhere. It's a really tough competition. I read that Bundesliga 2 has more visitors from overseas than Serie A. It's a big and attractive league with big teams and big stadiums like Dusseldorf and Kaiserslautern and possibly now Hamburg. David is a smart guy. He has his feet on the ground. He is very positive. He was very open to moving abroad and trying something new, and I really like that attitude. That shows his character. He wants to learn a new language and a different culture, and I like that. That can only be good for him." Ibrox director of football Mark Allen was unable to guarantee Bates' first-team football under a new manager next season. With contract talks delayed by Bates appointing a new agent, Hamburg stepped in to see off a raft of English rivals. "Was I surprised Rangers did not get him on a new contract?" asked Spurs. "For me, it was lucky they didn't. The whole deal became more interesting as soon as I knew that if he wanted to come, there was no third party to negotiate with. Of course the contract situation is very relevant to signing him. If he now had a 4-year Rangers contract or whatever, I don't think there would be any chance of getting him. If we go down to Bundesliga 2 we won't be able to pay the kind of transfer fees needed for these players. So it was a combination of his talent, his mentality and a good contract situation. Contacting Rangers to let them know they plan to speak to a player well into the final 6 months of his contract. Hamburg angered the Ibrox side when they announced the deal days before the Scottish Cup semi-final against Celtic. "I don't want to say so much about this," said Spurs. "We had a situation where we were ready to say something. I don't want to talk about the media side of it because there is a big friendship between Hamburg and Rangers. I hope we can maintain that." Bates now becomes Spurs' second Scottish import to the Bundesliga after he recommended Red Bull. Leipzig spent £14 million on winger Oli Burke. "I was involved in Oli's deal and I know him well. In England you become one of maybe 50 players going out on loan sometimes, and that's why it's better for young Scottish players to come to Germany. You might be one of 22 or 23 players here instead of one of 40. In our league, in our team, David has more chance of game time, and I think that's interesting for all young players.